This is all about how much money Virgin Galactic is bringing in from selling its products or services. In simple terms, it's gone from earning $767,000 as of September 30th, 2022 to almost $4 million by the time we look at trailing 12 months. So basically, it's like they're selling more stuff, and that's a good thing. This part is all about how much Virgin Galactic has been spending to make what they sell. It's gone up from $590,000 on September 30th, 2022 to over $2 million by trailing 12 months. If you think of it like the money they had to spend to get their stuff made, it's getting more expensive. This could be a problem if they didn't make enough sales to cover these costs. This is the money left over after Virgin Galactic takes away the cost of making their products or services from their revenue. On September 30th, 2022, they had $177,000, but have improved to over $1.5 million by trailing 12 months. It's a positive sign, because it's like they're earning more after paying for labor and materials. This section refers to all the daily costs for Virgin Galactic to run their business. The company went from spending about $145 million on September 30th, 2022, all the way up to over $600 million by trailing 12 months. It's a bit of a red flag because it seems like their everyday costs are ramping up a lot. This is basically how much the company makes from doing its core business stuff. Back on September 30th, 2022, Virgin Galactic was losing over $145 million. And by trailing 12 months, they're losing over $600 million. This isn't great because it means they're getting less profitable from their main activities. This shows Virgin Galactic's earnings from stuff that isn't their usual business activities. It's gone up from $231,000 on September 30th, 2020, to $12 million by trailing 12 months. This could be seen as a good sign, as it means they're earning more money outside their normal operations. This measures money Virgin Galactic makes or spends that doesn't come from their main operations. Back on September 30th, 2022, they had negative $203. Now, by trailing 12 months, they have negative $74. It's less negative, suggesting they might be cutting down on extra expenses or making more non-operating income, which is great. This is like the company's profitability calculator before they give the taxman his share. It's gone from negative $145 million in September 30th, 2022 to negative $589 million by trailing 12 months. This isn't good because it suggests Virgin Galactic might have some big money problems. This is the chunk of money Virgin Galactic is setting aside for their tax bill. It's gone from $21 on September 30th, 2022 to $712 by trailing 12 months. It means they're planning for a bigger tax bill in the future, which isn't necessarily good or bad. It depends on how much cash they're making before tax. This is the profit left for the shareholders once everything is paid off. It's gone from negative $145 million on September 30th, 2022 to negative $590 million by trailing 12 months. The losses are getting bigger for shareholders, which is definitely not a good sign. This is all about how much money could end up in shareholders' pockets if all convertible securities, like bonds that can be turned into stock, become a reality. From a loss of $145 million on September 30th, 2022, they're now facing a loss of $590 million by trailing 12 months. It points towards shareholders losing more, which is worrying. This is just the money they make from running their regular business activities. It's gone from negative $145 million in September 2022 to negative $600 million by trailing 12 months. More losses is bad news for money, making and investors won't like it. This is all the money the business has spent in a certain period. Total expenses have grown from $146 million in September 30th, 2022 to $605 million by trailing 12 months. This simply means Virgin Galactic's costs are getting bigger, which is concerning. This is about all the money Virgin Galactic has made or lost by adding money from operations they're still running and ones they don't do anymore. They went from negative $145 million in September 30th, 2022 to negative $590 million by trailing 12 months, so overall earnings are getting worse, which is not a good sign. This is a measure that cuts out special one-off items to give a clearer view of Virgin Galactic's regular earnings. It's dropped from negative $145 million in September 30th, 2022 to negative $590 million by trailing 12 months. This downward trend would make anyone worried about their financial health. This is money Virgin Galactic made from keeping their cash in investments that earn interest. It has shot up from $52,400 in September 30th, 2020 to $25 million by trailing 12 months. Bigger returns from these investments is great news. This shows what Virgin Galactic is paying out in interest to their lenders. From September 30th, 2022 to trailing 12 months, it's gone from $3,293,000 to almost $13 million. More in expenses mean they're spending more to borrow, which is worrisome. This stands for earnings before interest and taxes. It's a big picture look at Virgin Galactic's operating performance, going from negative $142 million in September 30th, 2022 to negative $576 million by trailing 12 months isn't good. It shows the company is performing worse over time, and that's a red flag. This is all about the total cost of creating what Virgin Galactic sells. The costs went up from $590,000 in September 30th, 2022 to over $2 million by trailing 12 months. Higher production costs could be a problem if they don't make enough sales to cover it. This tracks how much their resources like machinery and buildings are wearing out. It's gone from $6 million in September 30th, 2022 to nearly $12 million by trailing 12 months. More depreciation means more costs over time. This shows the profits, or losses, that are counted to the main company. It's gone from losing $145 million in September 30th, 2022 to losing nearly $600 million by trailing 12 months. Just like the overall net income, this isn't good for the company. This is basically earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. This helps us understand Virgin Galactic's earning potential from their normal business activities. But it's gone from negative $135 million in September 30th, 2022 to almost negative $565 million by trailing 12 months. Clearly, the profitability potential is worsening. This is about the tax rate Virgin Galactic used to calculate their financial stuff. It has stayed the same for them from September 2022 to trailing 12 months, which is a consistent zero. This is about the tax rate Virgin Galactic used to calculate their financial stuff. It has stayed the same for them from September 2022 to trailing 12 months, which is a consistent zero.